Today I will discuss two important questions. It will take me a little bit out of my comfort zone. I will discuss the questions that I believe are the most important for us as humanity. It's artificial general intelligence and it's consciousness. Consciousness research, if you do that as a neuroscientist at least, it's not a field taken very seriously. It has not been, at least. So it's considered an academic suicide even to discuss consciousness research. Similarly, in AI, discussing artificial general intelligence is also more or less considered an academic suicide. So what I'm actually going to do now is here on stage commit a double academic suicide. So I hope it's worth it. And the reason why I do this is because I think this is important for humanity. These questions are kind of groundbreaking for humans in the time to come. And we will surely develop algorithms that are more intelligent than humans. It's no longer an if, it's a when. And the question is, when will this happen? Will it happen in 10 years? Will it happen in 100 years? Will it happen in 1,000 years? We don't know that, but it will happen. And even looking at humanity and civilization, even 100 years is short. Even 1,000 years is short. And I think more and more researchers now say that this may happen within our lifetime. So we will need to start discussing these questions. You are still young, so it's a quite large chance that it will happen in your lifetime, maybe not in mine. But as I say, it will happen someday. And what do we need to discuss then? And the most pressing question is how to develop AI that is for the benefit to humans. And also the other question then, this will kind of pose a new question. What does it mean to be a human with emotion, with consciousness? Before we start on those two important questions, I want to rewind back to the 1950s, where the field of AI was established. This was at the workshop at Dartmouth College, where the most prominent people of the time came together to kind of discuss the important aspects of AI. And what they did was, of course, as most scientists need to do, apply for funding to get this workshop up and go. And in that application, they write that what they want is to discuss that any aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can, in principle, be so precisely described that the machine can be made to simulate it. An attempt will be made to find how to make machines use language, form abstractions, and concepts, solve kinds of problems now reserved for human, and improve themselves. So the insight they had was clear. At that time, the laws of physics were there, and it's no magic happening in the brain. The brain follows the laws of physics. You also at that time had simple models of neurons, mathematical models of neurons. And the idea was clear. If you're able in a machine to simulate the brain, you will also simulate intelligence. Which means that you can simulate the acts of intelligence. And this is important. Actually, when I, as a physicist, simulate something, for example, if I simulate a black hole in my computer, I do not create a black hole, fortunately, or we would not be here today. But if I simulate intelligence and the acts of intelligence, actually what I do is to create intelligence. And this is very different. So this is the first and maybe most important take-home message of my talk. Simulated intelligence is intelligence. But note, the human mind and we as humans, we are much more than intelligence. We are filled up with emotions and we have a consciousness. It actually feels like something to be a human. The redness of this carpet, happiness, pain, these are called qualia. These are something, it feels like something to be human. And actually, intelligence is this neural activity in the brain, but those emotions can be traced down to the brain. It's nothing magical in that sense. Everything can be traced down to signals in the brain. However, there is one big unsolved mystery there, which is about not only emotions, but in general about consciousness, actually. And this big question is, I mean, we can simulate, we can find, we can trace the emotion, everything in the neurons, but actually this, what is David Chalmers called the hard question of consciousness, is actually this: how can that activity create this feeling of being conscious? And this is an unsolved question. So we don't know too much about consciousness. However, what you see is that differently to simulating intelligence, simulating consciousness does not create consciousness. And this is important, because now we see OpenAI with the new ChatGPT. I don't know if you saw this new, they showed off their new version where you can talk to it. It clearly simulates no consciousness and emotion. This kind of voice they talked to was laughing, it was very flirting. And this is a new thing also in AI. We will connect to these tools. We will connect to the intelligences. But remember, it's no sign at all of consciousness in these tools. They are simulating consciousness, which is not the same as being conscious. However, we will definitely connect to them. We have to deal with that. And this has been treated in the popular culture for decades and much more. I don't know if you've seen the movie Her. It's from 2013. It's about Theodore. He has an operating system in his phone, Samantha. And actually, this is so lively and full of emotion that he actually emotionally connects to it. AI Samantha becomes his girlfriend. And this sounded totally crazy at the time in 2013, but now with the new chatbots from ChatGPT and the future chatbot, this is more and more realistic. We will connect to it. So we have to deal with those emotions. What has happened the last couple of years is that prominent people in the field of AI has come out and warned about AI as a potential existential threat. And it's not only the companies, it is also prominent professors. We're talking about people like Hinton, Benjo, Tegmark, Stuart Russell, and more. And what they have raised is this concern that artificial intelligence at the level of humans or above may cause an existential threat to humanity. It is, however, important to note that we as humans, as I say, we are much more intelligent. And it's not intelligence that has created us as kind of the dominant species in the world. It's a lot of other things. So, and note the word I use, dominant species. This is a human quote, right? This is what you typically say. And why do we say dominant? Why do we have the urge, some of us, to dominate? This is another question. This is in our genes. It has to do with other things than intelligence. So in our genes, we have the urge to survive, to spread our genes, to dominate. And again, it's not intelligence. It's not intelligence. I mean, that we have a war in Ukraine or in the Middle East is not about too much intelligence. Rather the opposite, I would say. So we shouldn't fear intelligence as such. And I believe that intelligence, we will not create kind of any intelligence that will threaten humanity. Because all these things that we typically see as a threat, the wars and so on, these are basically because lack of intelligence in humans and too much desires, too much emotion, things that are in our genes. So I believe that we will not have kind of AI that will be dangerous to us as humans. But note, I say I believe. We don't know this. We don't know it for sure. We have no mathematical theory or mathematical proof saying that if you develop AI in this or that way, it will surely be safe for humans or humanity. So we are not sure about this. And this brings me back to the warnings from Stuart Russell, Benjo, Hinton, Tegmark. We have to be sure now, because this is the most important question of our time, and you as young people, we have to be sure that we develop AI in a safe and robust way, so that it will be to the benefit of humanity. And these are the most important questions over time, and it's also important and interesting that all these questions about AI and what it means to have an artificial general intelligence, at the same time will kind of give us answers, hopefully, on what it means to be human. Thank you so much.